I believe Chris was slightly unfamiliar with Zach Wilson's game. Um, he's not. He doesn't win football games.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me take away with.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC, UPenn's finest, and Chris Coacher, CB. Coacher Boy, we have another great episode for you guys today. Week 2 in the NFL is already wrapped up, and we're looking forward to Week 3. But before we get into Week 3, we got to talk about Week 2. Before we talk about Week 2, we got to get into Summit's Plummets. And we're going to talk about some big early season shockers. Just 2 weeks into the season, some teams have been, definitely surpassing the bar that people have set for them. And then other teams have not been living up to that bar. But before we get into any of that, got to do some Summits Plummets. So whoever wants to start may do so.
I'll kick it off with the plummet of the week going to Matt Canada, who has failed to reach 400 yards for another game under the Steelers' tenure. They have never reached 400 yards of offense under his tenure, which is kind of bad for being a offensive coordinator that is supposed to be good. Matt Canada, you deserve to get fired. You just simply are not a good offensive coordinator. We called this last year, and as Snoop Dogg said, Mike Tomlin, who the hell is this offensive coordinator? We need a new one.
Yeah, and it don't help that the first round running back y'all picked up doesn't seem to have the same juice that y'all backup running back has, or whoever's the starter at this point.
Jalen Warren, low key better. Jalen Warren is better.
He high key better. I mean, at this, he high key better. He just got the juice. Like this looks like Pollard and Zeke. Like
the third down that he picked up on like third and long. He just got it.
He different.
Yeah. Chris, did you want to go next with a summit or a plummet? Danny starting back-to-back weeks with a plummet. It's kind of funny.
Well, I'm going to go with the summit. Shout out my boys. And I was just really happy to see my boy Lamar looking under control in the offense, in control of the offense, not under control. In control of the offense. Like, first week was just bad. It wasn't good. The Texans aren't a good team, and the Ravens didn't look good. But I think week 2, the Ravens looked a lot better. It looked a lot better just as an offense. Defense, I mean, the Bengals are going to score, so it is what it is. But I liked how Lamar looked, command the offense. I liked Zay Flowers stretching the field. OBJ got some love. Mark Andrews got some love. Bateman got some catches. Like I feel like everybody, pitched in. And then my boy Gus Bus, he's back doing his thing, running people over. So that was cool to see. That was my son.
Yeah, the Ravens looked good. They hold current sole possession of the first place spot in the NFC or in the AFC North. No shocker. And yes, Steelers got that first win. My summit this week, I feel like I'm talking a lot about these Thursday games, but hey, someone's got to do it. The Giants and the main talk is like, oh my goodness, it took this 20-point comeback to beat the Cardinals. And yes, there is reason to be skeptical. I definitely see it. But I'm a big fan of like a win is a win. And I don't think there's a better way to go into a short week playing arguably the best team in football right now in the 49ers by coming off what is possibly the best 2 quarters of football in Daniel Jones' career. Now, granted, if you want to be like, oh, it's the Cardinals, whatever. But like I just said, I'm a big believer in a win is a win. Daniel Jones had the hot hand in the second half. I don't think there's a better way to go into this game in the upcoming Thursday. I'm not picking them to win or anything, but I think you're picking the Giants to win.
No. I think there's a better way. Their running back is done. His ankle is Saquon Barkley. I feel bad for him, dude. Every year he has some sort of ankle injury.
First of all, time out. I'm talking from like an actual play standpoint. Injuries are going to happen, but He's not done. He's gonna be back in like 2 weeks. It's an ankle sprain.
Yeah, I
He'll be
forgot.
fine. They'll be
forgot-
okay. They probably weren't winning this game if he was playing anyway. So because they can't get anything done on the ground, the only way he can get involved is through the pass. But yeah, I believe that. Again, not saying the Niners could win or not saying the Giants could win or anything, but I do believe coming off that second half, I think they will start to find a groove and be competitive with the Niners. That is my summit of the week. The second half for the Giants.
Yeah, one thing to note, I don't know what the NFL schedulers were thinking by putting a couple stink fests on back-to-back weeks on Thursday Night Football, because we know the Eagles were going to rout the Vikings. Everyone thought they were, at least. I mean, the game was closer than – the score doesn't show how far the game actually was. The Eagles had control of that game the whole time. And we know the Niners are going to manhandle the Giants, as they should. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Giants come out and somehow shock the world.
I don't think they'll shock the world or anything. I just think they'll be a little more competitive. Not like, hey, the Niners didn't look too pretty last week either, if I must admit. But yeah, I'll go back to back here actually. And my plummet is the Cleveland Browns, just in general. Rough stretch. Holy, I mean, you lose Nick Chubb, which is highly, highly unfortunate. One of, if not the best back that this game has to offer. It's sad to see him suffer an injury like that. Yep, your pick is down the drain. We will void that and let you pick someone else. But yeah, it's just tough to see. And then you talk about 2 years ago. They talk about, or like a year and a half ago. We need to grow up at QB. We need a grown up. We need to mature at QB. So you kick Baker out and bring in Deshaun Watson, of all people. Talk about maturity. And he's worse. And he's quite worse than any version of Baker Mayfield that was in Cleveland. I truly believe that. Even last year, when he was an absolute turnover machine, at least the kid had some explosive plays in him. At least he could work off of play action. At least he could be a game manager if asked to be one. Holy crap, dude. Like, Deshaun Watson, I saw his tweet on Twitter today. It was hilarious. He said, Deshaun Watson, how bad he's playing right now makes me wonder if he was ever actually good. Like, where does 2020 Watson even exist? Like, oh my goodness, man. Like, that's my point. The Browns just stink. They gave Predator $1 billion gazillion dollars. He's not good at football. Baker Mayfield's hooping down in Tampa Bay.
So happy for him.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Baker later, as he's going to be playing the Eagles and his team is off to a 2-0 start. But I'll swing it to somebody else. Chris, you want to give us a plummet, and then we'll swing it to Danny for positivity?
Yeah, well, my plummet is just me being fooled. He tricked me. Justin Fields tricked me. I came on our show and I told people, oh, this is Justin Fields, Cam Newton, MVP. No, and I'm looking really wrong. And this is why I don't like Chicago sports. This is why, because they trick you. They effing trick you. And that's what Justin Fields is doing to me right now. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I'm blaming it on just Bears doing Bear stuff. But he's just been like, I don't know. It's kind of like he's like a redshirt freshman quarterback, and either they don't want to let the reins off of him because he can't do it, or they're just scared to. But either way, watching is painful because it's like I've seen him be great, and it's like he's just been literally the opposite of great, like poop. So like I just that's my point. Then my take is going down the drain, and Justin Fields is bad.
Yeah, that's certainly what it's looking like. I mean, there's some like all 22 clips of him just blatantly missing guys downfield, and he's looking right at him. Like I don't.
And a baby plummet, I did pick Cole Kmet as a tight end, so there's that.
Well, I have him as well. We're in that same boat. So, holy moly! Want to talk about a plummet? I needed 19 points combined from Miles Sanders and Pat Freiermuth. Miles got me 7. Yeah, I got 8 combined, and Miles was 7 of them. I don't put that on Miles whatsoever. I realistically, I should have started Dalton Kincaid. I might start him the rest of the year. I might just not go back to Muth.
Hey, Danny, before you go, I want to say one more thing. I was up 34 points in fantasy. And then the Cowboys defense held the Giants to 0 points. It was 40-0. And they had 39 fantasy points. And I lost by 6. So another plummet. There's that.
Yeah,
Wait, what was that, week one?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're insane. But Danny, finish it off with a summit so we can get into some of our favorite week 2 actions.
My summit is what is going on down in Miami. So they got a lot of good guys coming in. They got Tua Tagovailoa leading the league in passing yards. Tyreek Hill leading the league in receiving yards. They got Xavier Howard getting 4 women pregnant and trying to, on top of Eli Apple doing that at the same time. So they got some freakazoids in the cornerback room.
That is insanely crazy.
Some of it might be like a half summit, but I think the summit part is definitely the good football, because they got some good ass football going on down in Miami, and this is something that we haven't really seen consistently since the beginning of last year, because they started off 3-0 last year, and the Eagles started off 3-0, and then Tua got hurt, and then the Dolphin season went boop, right downhill.
Yeah, but everybody in Florida is balling. I mean, Jacksonville didn't have the best game, but Dolphins have looked good. Tua is getting the ball out fast. He looks very good. And Tampa Bay looks good too. So we can get into some of our week 2 favorites. Did anybody want to go first? If you have 1 or 2 games that you wanted to chat about from week 2.
Yeah, I think Steelers Browns from a bias standpoint was some ugly ass football, but that's AFC North football, dude. It's like, I'm gonna punch you. We're both gonna have players get hurt at the same time. And the Steelers had 2 defensive touchdowns to win them the game. They had negative offensive yards in the fourth quarter and scored points.
What they have, like -7 yards,
like -5, -4 yards or something like that, and they scored points. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, dude, TJ Watt and that defense, they came up big. They really needed it on a night where Matt Canada was still a coach in the NFL, and Kenny Pickett wasn't having his best night. Najee Harris couldn't get it going. I mean, that defense, amazing. And it does help a little bit that the Browns offense is super just inefficient. But I agree. I love what I saw.
Highsmith with a pick 6. He got some jets.
Yo, these defenders been getting active a little bit. Micah Parsons, like little scoop and score that didn't count. Oh, he did a little like step back. Defender flew, or offensive player flew by, and he take off. Yo, Michael Parsons, let him get a return. Yo, watch what happens.
He's getting for real.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, yo, let him play a little bit of offense.
Well, tight end.
Hey, man.
LeBron James at tight end.
Terrifying. I want to talk about one game. The supposed to be barn burner that was not Chiefs Jaguars. I was very disappointed in that game watching it. I just thought I was going to see more fireworks. I was hoping the prince that was promised would come through and do anything good. He really didn't. And, I mean, the Chiefs looked okay. It was just a mid-game. And I think I was looking forward to. I think I said last week, I was like, I think that's the game I'm looking forward to. I think they can both. I don't know. I think Tone said they can both, like, throw for, like, hella yards and stuff like that. And they literally did.
375.
Nah, yeah. They really did none of that.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
This game is boring. It was boring to me. It was really boring. And what day do you say a game with Russell Wilson at quarterback is more entertaining than a game with Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes at quarterback? How many times do you say that?
Sam Howell and Russell Wilson had a better showing than 2 of the elites in our game, which is
so nasty.
Definitely crazy to say. But that Chiefs Jaguars games, I mean, I think aside from like defenses holding up strong, the offenses just kind of couldn't get anything going. And Mahomes had another interception. Lawrence wasn't particularly great. He couldn't find that same connection with Ridley on a consistent basis. And they, for sure, did not throw for 700 yards. I can tell you that. Did not happen. And it's a shame because yeah, like Chris said, for all the same reasons, it was highly anticipated. And well, Danny, you have any comments on that game? Or
Yeah, that game, Chris Jones made his impact, and they clearly did not have a game plan for Chris Jones, is what I'll say.
Mhm.
Every single big stop was a pressure by Chris Jones, a sack by Chris Jones, or a tackle up the middle. Chris Jones proved that he was worth every dollar the Chiefs spent on him. And it's kind of crazy. Mahomes was making plays with Kelsey not doing much. I think they said that this is back-to-back weeks Mahomes had completed a pass to 10 different receivers. That's mind-blowing.
yeah, that's something, and it's just something he's gonna have to do all year. I mean, last year people were like, "Oh, this receiving core is abysmal." No, this year it is. It's really bad. Um, so yeah, I like both of the games you guys picked. A little bit more on Danny's one. That I don't even know what direction Matt Canada is even trying to go in. Like, I don't even know what he's trying to set up for to make things easier for Pickett. Not to, I mean, Pickett's not playing that good like as it is, so like your play calling's not helping out much either. But luckily, yes, they do have one of the premier defenses in the NFL, and you know, hopefully Minka's okay as well, and obviously hope Nick Chubb is okay. But Minka had to go to the hospital uh, after that hit, and I was hoping they just bang knees. I saw them both down. I was hoping they just bang knees. You get right back up. But one of my favorite week 2 games was Tampa Bay and Chicago for the reasons that this Bucks team, I'm a victim of this as well, kind of just wrote them off because of who they had at quarterback. Like the last I've seen of Baker Mayfield, the last year and a half I've seen of Baker Mayfield, just wasn't good, and I wasn't buying it. But hey, he's been managing the game. Mike Evans has been very good. He's been looking like a guy who's never had a year short of 1,000 yards. And the defense is balling out. Not necessarily this week, but last week when you had to play Kirk Cousins, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson, who was the best wide receiver in the game, they did a very good job. They held him to 17 points. This week, you hold the Bears to 17 points, which isn't the greatest thing ever. Like whatever, but I can predict. Like I would not be shocked if they give the Eagles some Monday scaries. I really would not be shocked. Especially depending on the health of the defense. The Bucks might be able to get a pass game going. I'm going to say a run game. The Eagles' run defenses look phenomenal, but if they can get a little pass game going, yeah, I could definitely see the Bucks giving the Eagles some troubles on that Monday night game. But I won't jump the gun and pick them or anything. But I can see them giving them a bit of scaries. Y'all have any other games y'all wanted to talk about from week 2? It was a lot of action, and no one's on bye week yet, so it's a lot of action.
I think I hit all the games I wanted to. Like I said, I think the Jags and Chiefs game stood out. Like I said, yeah, I think the Titans Chargers was cool too. Like it was a little more surprising than I thought. I mean, surprising to me because I didn't think it would be that close. I think I'm maybe a little too high on the Chargers. Maybe I'm too high on Justin Herbert. I remember after the game, like after every game a quarterback loses, they're literally the worst player on the planet. So I was seeing some stuff, but it was basically like he's not good at reading offenses. Like reading defenses. Not as bad as Fields, but like he's not good. And that's why he's not elite. That's what I was seeing. And I'm not saying I was seeing that in week 2. It's only been 2 weeks, but I think one thing I've been paying attention to more for quarterbacks is just how they manage the game, but also at the same time, like how they manage to make big plays while managing, if that makes sense. And I think Mahomes does it a lot. I think Lamar does it a lot. I mean, they're two of the elites, but I think Trevor Lawrence does it a lot too. I mean, I think it also goes wide weapons. I think them losing Austin is going to be tough for the Chargers. But I just want to see Herbert like kind of carry a little bit because I think he's on that level to be able to do so. He's getting paid like it. So I kind of want to see him do that. Like I think they should continue to win even with Austin out.
Yeah, and the thing about that Chargers game, Yeah, I would love to see Justin Herbert be a little more aggressive, but god damn it, I don't know what I don't know what it is. Like Kellen Moore I thought was one of the most creative minds. One of the young creative minds in the NFL, and we're still running double slants. We're still running everybody spot up at the sticks. They're at the 19-yard line, and they ran 4 verts into the end zone. Like, what are we doing? Like, and yeah, like not to say Herbert, shouldn't be more aggressive. He can't take sacks in certain spots, and he shouldn't be eyeing down receivers at certain points. But I don't know. And that defense it's no good. It's no good. They're too old. J.C. Jackson gets paid like one of the best corners in the league when, quite frankly, he might be the worst corner in the league. Like, just for real. For real. Like, he can't hold any wide receiver one right now, in my opinion. He can't hold any of them. Can't hold DeAndre Hopkins.
He can't hold them. He can certainly hold them.
Oh, he can hold them for sure, but he can't hold them. Like, he'll hold them. He'll hold them, push them, make his own life suck, but it's just disappointing, man. It's just disappointing. This roster is way too talented to be held
Dare
back
I
by
say
stupid things.
System corner?
And Khalil Mack is aging in dog years, dude. Like,
My!
it's unreal seeing like how just different he looks from a couple years ago when he was in Chicago. Like, I'm a Chicago hater for sure, you know that. But he was a beast on the Bears, and now it looks like half of that.
He's really old though. Like he's like 33, dude. 32.
33,
He's
yeah.
really old.
Yeah, even then, like the dude is just I don't know.
And I get spoiled being able to watch Roquan Smith, so maybe I'm just a little too hard on Khalil Mack. My bad.
Yeah.
But
I have one last game to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a game that ended with a Tyler Lockett walk-off touchdown. The Seahawks were written off week 1 after a loss to the Rams, who are surprising a lot of people. Not surprising me that much. I said that I expect this team to bounce back to almost 2021 form. Surprising a lot, both of you, when I said that in the preseason. I said they could bounce back and surprise a lot of people. And they're doing that, exactly. Their offense is phenomenal. Sean McVay isn't playing for retirement anymore. And that's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about the Seahawks beating the Lions in overtime. Geno Smith, my pick to go to the NFC Championship game to play the Eagles. They looked really good week 2.
Yeah, you definitely do have that. You definitely have the Seattle Seahawks going to the NFC Championship game. Yeah. I don't know what that just was. Like, I don't know. This Lions defense, their tester for how good they get is how much they lose or how much they give up to Seattle every year, because they lose every single year. It's just like, man, like even you take off the pick 6, they still gave up 30. Like, what? Their defense needs to find consistency. Like, there's no way you hold Mahomes to 20 points and then you turn around and get 30 dropped on your head. I don't know.
I heard CJ Gardner-Johnson may be out for the year, which is really unfortunate for him.
He's out for the year, yeah.
He's not getting no money. He should have took that long-term contract and stayed in Philly. That's
your
fault.
It. What happened to Gardner Johnson?
I think his chest.
Torn pec, just like Avonte Maddox.
Wow. Yeah. So that happened. Very rough. But one thing I will note, the Seahawks will only get better over the next 5 weeks. Their Devin Witherspoon is healthy and he's playing snaps. And Jamal Adams is returning in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's my boy Tariq Woolen. That's my boy.
Because they need it. They need to get healthy fast.
I'll tell you that. If the Seahawks have this healthy secondary, they are one to be messed with. They have some guys that are going to hit you in their fucking mouth.
Yeah, that's facts. But we can move on to the biggest shockers of this year, whether it's for the good or bad. I'm down to start for this one. Biggest early season shocker for me. We already talked about Baker a little bit, so I'm not going to again. But if I had to give one, I think I'd probably go with the Patriots. And they're 0-2, so it's a little bit of a wonky pick. I don't know why you're looking at me like that, Danny. Do the Steelers play the Patriots?
I'm going to that game, December.
Yeah. Good job wasting your money. You guys are going to get destroyed. So this Patriots team, one thing
I was looking like
very
that. I was looking at that because I thought you were thinking bad. I was like, they've been playing some good football. They just lost the games.
yeah, no. This is why you gotta hear me out. Why I started with they're 0-2, so it's a weird pick. But it's why you gotta let people talk, and that's how making funny faces. So I picked them because you have two of the best offenses in the NFL. You hold their offenses to a combined what did the Dolphins get? 24? So a combined
And the Eagles did not get 24, 25. The Eagles got
no,
17.
they got 18. So you hold two of the best offenses in the NFL to a combined 42 points. That's very good, and their offense doesn't look half bad. I mean, they take a little bit to like get it going, get that pass game going. But I'm definitely impressed with the Patriots and with that injury to Rodgers. The injury to Rodgers. I think the wild card spot, maybe it's opened up to the Patriots a little bit. I don't, as an 0-2 team, it'll be very difficult. But hey, they can hang with anybody. Like I can see them, giving other wild card teams troubles. Like I could see them giving the Bengals trouble. I could see them giving the Chargers troubles. I could even see them giving, for matchup purposes, I can see them giving the Chiefs trouble, just because that defense is just going to zero in on Kelsey. Not to say I don't think they'd beat the Chiefs because I'm never picking Mahomes to lose, but that defense can zero in on something, and then offensively, if they can just get a pass game going or some type of outside run game going, don't run it Chris Jones. But yeah, I think that the Patriots have a real shot at the wild card now, especially that the Jets offense just doesn't exist, and they're probably not going to be in the running for a postseason spot. Meanwhile, the Patriots, their pass game looks night and day between this year and last year, and Bill Belichick is always going to have an elite defense because the best defensive mind that this game's ever seen, in my opinion.
I like that pick a lot. I still do think that there's two teams in the division better than them, even though the Jets are hurt and banged up with no Rodgers. I think the Bills and Dolphins still are better. So they still would have a lot to climb out of a hole.
Yes. Yeah. But it's possible. They're definitely a lot more in that race than I thought.
Yeah, and I think one team that's really shocked me, well, it shocked a lot of people, but didn't shock me, is the Cincinnati Bengals. I thought they were going to start the season 0-2. I think they're going to start the season 0-3. I think the Rams will beat them because Sean McVay is kind of like the father of Zach Taylor. He's from his coaching tree. He beat them in the Super Bowl, and he certainly will beat him in the regular season. And hear me out, the Bengals start 0-3 with Joe Burrow having an ankle injury, a calf injury that is a 40% re-injury risk that could possibly be an Achilles tear after signing a 5-year five-year deal. Not a good sign. You don't want that from your team. So if you start 0-3 and you're trying to risk Joe Burrow to play and he tears his Achilles, then you're out your star quarterback for basically a year and a half. 2 seasons might be done.
Yeah, and Danny's going victory lap this one because he called it. I honestly just assumed out of, offensive firepower, they were going to figure things out. Chris, did you have any opinions on that Bengals one? Because you also, in a way, said, the same thing about the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree with Danny. Like I said, man, it's just you go to surprise people so much, and for so long. And I think how explosive they were. You see the weapons they have, but to play them a lot of times, I think they were just still surprise people with how explosive the offense could be. I don't think that happens anymore. I think people are more geared up for like I was telling people all the time, the Ravens secondary is poop, especially without Marcus, without Marlon Humphrey right now.
Even with Marlon Humphrey, honestly,
free him. And it's they still didn't like amaze. Like I said, I think they should have put up more points. They should have forced Lamar to put up more points, but they just didn't. And I don't know. I never was a huge fan of the Bengals defense, so I don't really think much of them. But it's like I said, I agree with Danny. I think it's just their offense kind of surprised people a lot with how good they were, how good the Burrow to Chase connection was. It opened up everything else. And it's like now if you can kind of like slow that down, it's kind of like the Jamal Murray Jokic pick and roll. If you can somehow stop that, the rest of the team falls apart because they literally go by how much that opens up the offense. And I just haven't seen it. So, yeah, I'm with Danny on that one. I'm happy they didn't turn around against my Ravens. So, thank God.
Dude, the last time the Ravens played the Bengals, Tyler Huntley almost beat them if it wasn't for being a yard short in the goal line.
Indeed.
Tyler Huntley,
Indeed.
a backup quarterback, almost won a playoff game. If that doesn't speak a lot about how bad the Bengals defense is.
True.
And they got worse this offseason.
Will you respect Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley right now?
Pro Bowler.
Oh, you're right.
Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley. He's played in more Pro Bowls than Jalen Hurts. He's better, I'm afraid.
My biggest shocker too for the early season is the Falcons. I think the Falcons are. Danny told us to look out though. He did. I mean, they beat the Packers. They beat the Panthers. I'm not saying they beat the best. I mean, the Packers look pretty decent to me. I like Jordan Love enough, so they look pretty decent. But
comeback win, man. Comeback wins.
Right. And Bijan Robinson is special. Like I thought he was special. Dude. I said the Bears should have picked him with that pick that they had early. I said it. But yeah, I think Bijan is special. Desmond Ritter's not as mid as he's still mid, but he's not as mid as I thought he was. Kyle Pitts wasting time on my fantasy team. He may get dropped. And the rest of the team's looking good. So shout out to the Falcons for starting 2-0. And I just turned around. And I can't wait till they start wearing their throwback jerseys. I think they have some of the cleanest jerseys in the NFL too. I know that's random, but you just have to see the Falcons do well again.
I think they just wore it last game, the red helmet and the black shirt. They should just go back to that. That gradient
black, and then the white one with the red helmet. That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, here's something crazy. The last time the Falcons started 2-0, they lost the Super Bowl.
That is a while ago. So they have not won their first 2 games of the year since then, which is pretty crazy.
2017.
And Matt Ryan won MVP. So, big things for Mr. Ritter coming up.
Mr. Ritter is the best game manager we can see so far.
Yeah. No, but y'all remember the play by Bijan where he legit made 3 cutbacks in like one play?
Dude,
made someone miss.
Unreal.
Bijan looks like college Saquon in the NFL.
He does.
He looks a little quicker. He might look a little quicker than college Saquon. Like his in and out of like short, quick twitch breaks. It's unreal. Like it's just like I don't know. A gravity just doesn't apply to him. Like I don't know what it is. But if y'all want, we can move on to week 3. And we can talk about some of our favorite games there. I already talked about the Thursday night game, so we can kind of skip on over that. But yeah, does anyone want to talk about a game they're looking forward to this Sunday or Monday? Or if y'all want to talk about the Thursday game again, you can. But Danny kind of already talked about the Monday game with the Bengals and Rams. But
I love that game. We already talked about it a little bit. I'll kick it off with, I think, is going to be one of the best games of the week is Saints-Packers. This game has always been some sort of low-key rivalry. They beat Rodgers a couple years ago on opening day, 38-3. Jordan Love is going in 1-1 against Derek Carr. See if they can get their number. I think the Saints have kind of played kind of mid-football, but snuck out some wins. And the Packers have played pretty like upper-tier good football, but somehow are 1-1. I'm really interested to see. I think the Packers can come out and sneak out a win here.
Yeah, I definitely could see it. I'm impressed with Jordan Love's. He hasn't turned the ball over much. Back-to-back games with 3 passing touchdowns. Didn't have the most. Only had like 150 passing yards last game. But yeah, I mean, the Saints. I mean, and even on the Saints side, if the Saints win this game, start out 3-0. Super huge for them and their playoff hopes. But yeah, I do like this game. It's always been a sneaky rivalry because, Breeze and Brady were most of these matchups, but now you got Derek Carr and Jordan Love. Certainly.
Breeze and Rodgers, not Breeze and Brady.
I said Breeze and Brady. Apologies. I was thinking of Brady because like Brady was the guy and then it was them two. Apologies. So yeah,
Fair.
it's a rivalry because it's always been Breeze and Rodgers, but now we got Carr and Love.
I got a question for you guys.
Certainly just as elite.
Do you think that the Raiders were holding Derek Carr back? Because he certainly looks. He doesn't look like he's flashing crazy, amazing plays. But Derek Carr looks very serviceable, and he looks like a winning quarterback, something that he hasn't really looked at the Raiders in a while.
I think he looks the same as he did last year, if not the year before. Like, this is just Derek Carr. Like, this is I don't know. He doesn't have like that extra level to him. I don't see an extra level to him. Like, serviceable is kind of cutting it short. Like, I do believe he's like a top 15 quarterback, but I don't think the Raiders were holding him back. He actually was having his best year since his MVP year with Gruden until he had to get fired because he's a weirdo. But I don't know. I wouldn't say holding him back, but he's also got plethora of weapons on him. I don't know. I kind of see what you're seeing, but I wouldn't say it's like an upgrade from last year. Chris, you had anything to say about Derek Mid?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I don't know. Like Derek Carr is like he's just middle of the road type of dude. But it's a dude I'd rather have on my team if I didn't have a quarterback. Like I'd rather have him than Justin Fields today. It's not really saying much, but I'd rather have him. And it's like for some reason when you get to the Saints, you're gonna throw touchdowns. You're just going to. James Winston threw interceptions, but you're gonna throw touchdowns when you get to New Orleans. You're just going to. So shout out to Derek Carr for doing well. But I do want to say the game I'm looking forward to this week is Chiefs Bears. It's the reason why I'm looking forward to Chiefs Bears. it's narrative. Narrative always wins, right? Is this the game where Patrick Mahomes really like has like one of those games, just has one of those where it's like, all right, he's back. Which Kelsey gets 2 touchdowns. Like it's like one of those like Chiefs games, like Chris Jones dominates. Like it's one of those games, one of those like, all right, it gets you back onto the Chiefs bandwagon, or is it time for Chris Pick to come out right? Does Justin Fields figure it out against the Chiefs defense? Because I'm not saying the Chiefs defense is great. Chris Jones is. But is this that game? So I'm looking forward to it for narrative's sake. Of course, it's probably going to end 45-10 Chiefs, and I'm going to look stupid next week. But for narrative's sake, it could also end up 13-10 Bears win. And then who knows? Justin Fields has a mid game, but I think my pick's right. Everything turns around. So I'm looking forward to that game just because I think narratives, I think that's the best narrative this week, like of both teams and players. Like, are the Bears going to be on 3? Are the Chiefs going to have that game where it kind of like not solidifies them, like reminds you of who they were, even with a worse receiving core?
What Chris Jones and George Karlaftis are about to do to this Bears offensive line should be documented, should be put on file, and should be sent to the Kansas City police station. It's in Kansas City. But yeah, I get it. I definitely get it from a narrative standpoint. The Chiefs, they won last week, but not in like Chiefs fashion. The Bears cannot go 0-3 if they have any chance of squeaking into one of those final wild card spots. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of that game. Will Justin Fields bounce back? Hey, I'm not going to go on record like you are.
He's probably not going to bounce back, but if all else fails, they can just go 0-17 and get Caleb Williams. I don't know.
Caleb Williams to Chicago. You might go be a Bears fan.
It'll feed families, and I'll be one of the families that'll be feeding. It's me.
Do you have anything to say about? Yeah.
All right, I see this crazy graphic. Since 2012, there's one team in the NFL that has had 0 Monday Night Football games. Every other team's had at least 8. Who's the team?
The one team that has not had a Monday Night Football game?
Yep. Let's see if you can guess this.
The Colts.
Hold on. Let me get my guess in first. Well, before you give the answer, let me get my guess in. A team that has not had a Monday night game in how long?
Since 2012.
Since
every other team's had at least 8.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Texans.
He said Colts. He said Texans. It's the Jaguars.
What? They haven't had a Monday night game?
Damn.
Nope.
They didn't even get one scheduled after the Saxonville year. That's kind of disrespectful.
It's very
You ask me.
disrespectful. And the Saints and had 19. And the Steelers, Bears, and Giants have had 18.
That's well, I can see Pittsburgh getting it. A lot of those were probably AFC North games. Giants, New York media.
Steelers are 14-4 in those 18 games.
Oh, wow! Just throw you on Monday every week. You might go. You just might be the 1 seed this year. What that also could be with Jacksonville is that they always play in London. So I think trying to give them the most basic schedule possible because they're essentially London's team. So
yeah, pretty wild. I saw this graphic, guys. It's a very interesting thing to throw out here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Danny picked Saints Packers. I like that one. Chris picked Bears Chiefs, which I like from a narrative standpoint, as Chris does as well. I think so. A game I'm looking forward to is this could be weird, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to Commanders Bills. So the Bills, week 1, play a very good defense like the Jets, who get pressure, have a very good corner room, very good secondary, and he was just chucking up turnovers and things of that nature. And then you bounce back against a crappy Raiders defense. But the Commanders, they kind of stunk up the joint against the Cardinals week 1, but they win. They get away with the win. And then the next week you have this monster comeback against the Broncos. Sam Howell throws for 300 whatever yards. He looks really good. He definitely looks like, in my opinion, the best quarterback out of that class. You could argue him or Purdy. I just think Howell's got it right now. I'm interested to see. Emmanuel Forbes got his first pick. Commanders fans are doing the hottest thing ever. It's the coolest thing ever. It's Emmanuel Forbes, like on the cover of Forbes, and every quarterback he picks off, it's like, oh, you're on the Forbes list. That's fire. That's fire. That's fire.
That's cool.
So I'm a fan. Hey, and if the Bills fall down 1 and 2. I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's a little concerning. And if the Commanders go 3-0, they got to take advantage of every non-Eagles Cowboys game that they can. I'll probably come back to this game a little bit. It's Bills by 6.5. That's the spread. I might be back. I might be back, but that's my favorite game of the week that I'm looking forward to. Did any of y'all have something to say about that one?
Yeah, I think Eric Bieniemy has showed that he has faith in Sam Howell as a quarterback. Brian Robinson has been running the hell out of the ball. He is running hard. He's running like he doesn't want to get shot again in his leg.
That's fucked up. That's so messed up, man.
I'm dead. I'm for real. He did not want to get shot again.
Hey, I don't want to get shot a first time, man. But yeah, Brian Robinson single-handedly beat me in fantasy this week, I'm afraid.
Single-leggedly, you mean?
Not single-legged. No, chill, man. He's back for sure. And I think he's gonna finish with a great year, and he's already having a great year. But hold up. For the next one, it's supposed to be week 3, hots and locks, but I didn't change the number on it. So give me 1 second on that. But we can now get into these week 3 hot takes and locks of the week. The locks of the week that hit, not mine. I picked the Chargers. Chris's hit, he picked the Eagles. And Danny's hit picked the Giants, which must have been sweating about that one. But Danny and Chris did hit. As for hot takes, Danny said Passover Fins by 10 plus. Hey, it was hot. It was hot, but hey, I was feeling that as a hot take. Chris said Jets over Cowboys. I believe Chris was slightly unfamiliar with Zach Wilson's game. He's not. He doesn't win football games.
That Ember effer.
But these are supposed to be high. And then hey, no one was worse than me. I said these two guys were going for 700 yards. So
They didn't even combine for 400. I don't think they did. I think they did.
I think so, just barely.
Close to 5.
But yeah. But hey, does anybody want to start with hot take or their hot and lock, whatever it may be? I mean, I could go first, but
I'm starting with my hot take, and I'm riding the wave. The Atlanta Falcons will beat the Detroit Lions in Ford Field by a touchdown.
Falcons over Lions by a touchdown. Okay, on the road. Let me see real quick. I just want to see Detroit's favored by 3.5, so they're only favored because they're home. But I'll say by a score though. But what's the lock for the week?
The lock for the week, I think it's pretty simple this week. The lock of the week.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, man. I could choose the Cowboys. They're playing the Cardinals.
You're cheating.
That's wrong, right?
That should be one of our rules. Like if it's like clearly an upper echelon team, like a top 3 team versus a bottom 3 team, you can't pick that. But if you did one, so I wouldn't care.
Give me the Ravens over the Colts, with possibly no Ant Richardson. I would love to see Ant versus Lamar.
Oh man.
With possibly no Ant. I'm sorry, Gardner, but you cannot keep up with Lamar.
Yep, Ravens over Colts feels like a pretty easy one to make, especially even though Richardson. Unfortunately, my pen is giving up. I just got this pen like last week. Jeez. I can go to my hot take and lock. Well, I'll start with my lock. I'm gonna go. I'm doing something I just told Danny not to do, but I'm going Chiefs over Bears because I need something. I need something bad, so I'm gonna go with that.
It feels like a trap.
I'm telling you it is. I'm telling you it is.
It feels like
It's gonna be 17-13 Bears, and everybody's gonna be looking crazy. It's gonna be a dookie fest, but it's gonna be Bears.
Remember the Colts beat the Chiefs last year, and everyone's like, "Yo, what's up with the Chiefs?"
Yeah, because the Chiefs always got, if they don't look like themselves for one game, it's over. So my hot take is that Lamar Jackson, I can't even elaborate what he's about to do to the Indianapolis Colts. And now it's kind of not a hot take because, any elite quarterback can go off on any bad team. But I'm talking crazy numbers for Lamar. I'm talking 5. 5 total touchdowns for Lamar Jackson with 400 total yards of offense. No, I'll go 350 total yards of offense because if they're whooping him that bad, he's not going to be throwing the rock. So over 350 combined yards for Lamar Jackson with 5 total touchdowns. Lock it in for 8-ball this week.
Tough. I hope so.
I know. I know you like that hot take. If that hits, then we living.
He's on both
Lamar himself. If Lamar himself has 400 total yards of offense, and the Steelers haven't done that in the last 3 years, it's so hilarious.
Well, Lamar's capable. He's capable.
He's
we
capable
go to
for
Chris.
600.
Yeah, he come on, bro. He's liable to go Michael. Take your pick.
I know. Okay. All right. So hear me out.
Hey, about to say some bullshit.
All right. So my lock for the week right now.
Don't say Browns over Titans.
No, the Commanders over Bills.
Huh?
Ooh, that's the lock?
That's my lock. I know it sounds like a hot. That's my lock.
Yo, if you land this, I'll give you 2 extra points towards our lock points at the end of the year.
I think Commanders over Bills is the lock. The Bills haven't been great. Josh Allen hasn't been great. And like I said, I think what you said, Tom, kind of like made me think my pick was decent. They struggle with the Jets defensive front, and I think the Commanders defense defensive front especially is right up there with Eagles, Jets, like as far as just how good and talented they are. So I think they can get enough pressure. I think it'll be difficult on Josh Allen. I think it'll be really, really difficult. And if Josh Allen's not going, the Bills aren't going anywhere. I think that's why I took that as my lock for the week. I know it could have been a hot as my lock. But my hot is Broncos country. Let's ride over the Dolphins.
Oh, you essentially just got two hot takes this week. Broncos over the Fins.
Yeah.
Pretty bold. It's pretty bold, but
Because
hey, man.
I'm gonna tell you what, Tuna tag team champion. I don't think he's gonna have a good game against the Broncos. I don't know why, but I just don't think so. And I think Russell Wilson getting a lot of hate, deserved hate. But at some point,
Wow.
but at some
Oh,
point,
man.
he has to turn around. And I'm picking this week for it to be. I don't think the Dolphins defense is. I mean, the defense is decent. I think it's decent. I think it's not overrated, but I think it's decent. But I believe in the Broncos playmakers. I do. I believe in Jerry Jeudy a lot. I do. And I think if Jerry Jeudy can have a monster game, I think they can do it. So it's definitely they could easily get blown out, and they probably will get blown out. But that's why it's a hot take. I think it can happen.
The path I see for that happening, if anybody in this league can cover Tyreek Hill, it's Patrick Surtain.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody can do it, it's him. Mims Jr., 2 catches, 100 whatever yards. Should probably look for him a little bit more, Russ. And Russ has looked like a game manager this year, which he's never essentially had to do since like year 1 and 2 in Seattle. But
yeah.
Hey, it's a hot take. It is a hot take for a reason. Oh, yes, definitely. Yes, definitely.
Like it has to be like
that's going to be king.
20-17 type of deal, like something like that. And I think they can win. But if it gets over 24 points, like the Dolphins can get over 24 points early, it's going to be ugly for the Broncos. I think I think they can win an ugly game if it's ugly. But if it's not ugly, if it's up and down, because I don't think the Broncos can keep up.
All right. Yeah. I see your vision. So, a little
note on Chiefs Bears. It will be the first matchup in 53 years where the quarterback with the highest win percentage plays the quarterback with the lowest win percentage. Mahomes has a 79.3% career win percentage. Justin Fields, 18.5.
Wow.
Dude wins as often as Kyle Schwarber hits the ball. Like,
that's
my goodness.
No, Kyle Schwarber hits the ball more.
That's terrifying.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. My guy's a beast. But we can go on to the last topic of the show, which is the summer savings. And last week, if we take a look, Danny's over 51.5. Sadly did not hit. I'm sorry. Kelsey's anytime touchdown, that did hit, right?
Yep.
Kadarius Toney anytime? Nope.
That boy caught the ball and started running backwards. Good Lord.
For Chris didn't do too bad. I mean, Jay Jetta, did Justin Jefferson get in the end zone? Am I tripping?
I don't think he did.
He fumbled.
Just a bunch of yards again.
Yep. So he didn't get it. Hurts. A tush push is mandatory. Got to score. Did Lamar get a rushing touchdown? Oh, he did. Dude, he did such a good job. I cannot believe he didn't get in the end zone. Hey, my Green Bay 1.5 spread hit. Dobbs touchdown? No. Love yours? No. So, yeah, nobody cooked last week. But you know what? I'm here to cook because I told y'all I was coming back to that Commanders-Bills game. I'm going to take Washington. I'm taking Washington 6.5. I mean, look, winning by a touchdown in the NFL is hard, especially against a good defense like them. So, I'm going Washington 6.5. I'm going to go... This is a little spicy. I'm going Brian Robinson and Terry McLaurin, both for some anytime scores. And I'm not going to play with my food. I'm going to stop there. So we're going to go Washington's B-Rob for anytime touchdown and Terry. And whoever want to go next. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a Justin Herbert statement week against the shitty Minnesota Vikings defense.
Shitty.
So Justin Herbert, over passing yards. I don't care what it is. It could be 400 yards. I think he's going to go over. So whatever the line set at, he's going to go over 250 probably. He'll go over that. Give me Keenan Allen anytime touchdown. It's going to sound crazy.
Herb. Yeah, you said Herb over and then Keenan Allen anytime.
Jay Jetta's anytime.
Okay.
And
And who else?
it's going to sound crazy. Gerald Everett, anytime touchdown.
What? Okay. Gerald Everett. That's the tight end, right?
Yes, it is.
Ain't the craziest thing ever, but I wouldn't bet on it. All right. And then last we got Chris to round it out.
Get ready for the superstar lay. That's what
Okay.
I'm calling it. Well, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown because if they get anywhere near the goal line, book it.
That Jalen anytime touchdown just might hit every single time. Like
I literally take it every time the Eagles play. I take it every time straight. Every time.
You have to. If they get within 2 yards, they're doing it, dude.
And sometimes I do his 2 touchdown because if you get to the goal line twice, push. But so yeah, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. I got Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown because he hasn't had one the first 2 weeks, so I think he's just due.
Is Lamar due?
He's due, bro. He's due. And with no J.K. Dobbins, I mean Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, I like the pairing. I do. But Lamar's gonna have to get into the run. I think he rushed like 12 times last week, so it's a chance to get some one. So I got Jalen, Lamar, Jettas because he's due. Jettas due too.
Okay,
having that one. And I was just hating on the Bengals a lot, but Jamar Chase is due as well. So yeah, those, and then this is the one superstar. I mean, one guy who isn't a superstar is in this parlay. I got Sam Howell over 1.5 touchdowns. His line's 1.5. I got passing touchdowns. Yeah,
you see the vision.
I do.
Sam Howell 2+. Come on, man. I see the vision. I see the vision on all of these. Everybody's gonna eat, but Crispy making money behind our back because he's been making different parlays. And he can't share $1. Isn't that so crazy? It's wild.
But I can.
All right, man.
I will.
In 11 days, when I turn 21, I'm whipping up a crazy 20 leg parlay. I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yo,
none of y'all is $1.
I am sending you a promo link on your 21st birthday.
Yep.
Wow.
A couple.
I'm gonna get everybody's like, oh, yo, sign up, promo link. Man, I'm actually gonna sign up with Belly Up Sports, and they're gonna, I think you get $200 in free bets or something like that. But I'll be there. But without further ado, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're over on the podcast platforms, make sure you leave a like, pre-download the episode. Give us a 5-star rating. You can do it on any audio platform. We'd really appreciate it. You guys have anything to say before you get on out of here?
Kenny Pickett will bounce back and destroy the Las Vegas Raiders on prime time.
I think it's time for us to probably get to bed. Some of us are getting a little crazy, getting a little delusional.
Since Danny won't be losing by himself, Justin Fields, 3 combined touchdowns, 350 combined yards, and a Bears win.
Okay. I mean, hey, all right, look, if we're getting flat out delusional here, okay, then Johnny Manziel will come back for a game for the Browns, get them a win. Yo, craziest thing ever. What was it? I think somebody compared Johnny Manziel's 2015 season to like Kenny Pickett's like last 12 games or something. Oh my god. You would never believe it, dude. You would never believe it.
Hey, Danny's offended. He can't believe it.
I'd be offended if my first round quarterback, who they were both drafted with, Manziel was drafted with the 22nd pick, Pickett drafted with 20th. So they were both late first round picks. One of them didn't care about football, dog. He did not care. And he's playing the same as Kenny Pickett. And obviously things are going up for Kenny. He's a good kid. He's unfortunately has Hitler as his offensive coordinator. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys. Apologies from AP New Freezer, Coach of 2 by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.